I'd always imagined when I was writing the film that it would start with shots of water, droplets of water, and the water to me has a sort of mystery and a kind of, if you like, unfathomable thing about it. And I wanted the audience to be led into the film through the water. So it's some time before the sequence starts to resolve itself and you see that you're on a lake, and then you see a hand coming into the frame. The lake is, of course, Lake Como. And here is where the hand comes into the frame. The hand is, of course, the hand of somebody we learn is at the centre of the story. That's the part that Laura Linney is playing. And I wanted the audience to be drawn into this sequence without knowing why they were being drawn into the sequence and what the boat and the lake and the woman and the hand in the water meant. It was deliberately, it's a tease, the whole sequence. What is this woman doing? Where is she? Who is she flicking water at? We're on Lake Como. Somebody said to me, because George Clooney has a house on Lake Como, somebody said, is that George Clooney driving the boat? Why they thought George Clooney couldn't be better occupied doing something else than driving a boat for a film crew, I can't imagine. But it wasn't. It was the owner of the boat, beautiful Italian boat. So this mysterious sequence goes into the wash, and we never see anybody else. We never identify anyone else on the boat. Then we cut to what is clearly a fashion show. Now, first of all, I cast Liam Neeson in the film. Then I cast Laura Linney. And then I cast Romola. When I cast the three of them, I had no idea that when I put them together, they would look like a perfect family. But astonishingly, although I'd had, of course, set their photographs side by side, it's a world away from seeing people in the flesh. And to me, they look like a perfectly plausible family. This is all part of exposition. What the film is trying to do is identify Laura Linney, identify her profession. Clearly, she's in the fashion world. It's implying that she has to do with shoes, and it's clear that her daughter and her husband are not very taken by the fashion world. This was shot at real dawn. And we had a slight frost on the ground, even though when we were shooting it was perhaps March or April. And that's not real dawn through the window, but that's a heavily filtered window that simulates real dawn. And here again there's the technical problem, or a technical writing problem, of how to keep the story going when you've got a lot of information that is coming at you via print. And it was always a balance to try and keep as little information as possible that's actually written on the screen. And even if you didn't speak the language, hope that actually the name Ralph would be above all identified, and the word love. So love, Ralph, even for someone who doesn't know English, and we've already told the audience, and we can remind them that Ralph is the name of the person we see afterwards. So he's putting two together, two and two, and coming up with five. This was shot in Islington, the Angel. This is Liam unnoticed by a crowd. These are not extras. These are simply people who were in the street who didn't turn their heads when Liam Neeson walked past. This shop was actually not in Islington, and it was the interior of the shop is constructed in an old shop which had been a flower shop. This was shot on the first day of the shoot of the film. So eventually, the scene was reduced. It was initially a much longer scene, but during the process of editing, which is always a distillation, it was reduced and reduced and reduced. So it's bare information that is. Emma Fielding on the left, who plays the lighting here. So a lot of this is a bit of a race against time to get all the material in. But I loved this this apartment block because of that staircase and because of that entrance under the archway. This is later, actually the same day. This was shot in sequence and started off a very dull day and then brightened up mercifully. And this I wanted to be, I suppose, have a sort of echo of a spy movie. It was immensely hard, even with 2 cameras, to get all the material we needed for this sequence. But this was all shot in a matter of a few hours. We needed to very, very carefully storyboard the sequence and move with incredible rapidity. And both. Now that shot of the tram coming across has been slightly artificially helped because it's further across in the frame than it was in fact, so it looks much more dangerous. Here we see him meeting another woman who looks like Lisa. And we have no idea who this man is, where he's going. I want the audience to think he looks rather smartly dressed. Is he a banker? Is he somebody of substance? So this was shot outside Milan railway station, which is there in the background. Again, this was shot, as it were, for real, no control over the crowd, and not one of the crowd turned and said, "Oh, look, Antonio Banderas being followed by Liam Neeson." They just ignored it because we were on very long lenses, a long way away. It's only when crowds see a film crew that they gather. This was in a rather beautiful bar that is quite near the Milan railway station, and was shot in, I think, 2 mornings, and then we go through this doorway into the back room and reveal the back room, and this was all shot in Ealing, the interior on a stage. So it's one of the difficulties, and I feel slightly guilty of admitting that, because I hope the audience never notice any difference between the front of the bar and the back of the bar. The sound is consistent and the light is consistent, but we were unable to stay long enough in Milan to have shot in the back room as well as the front room.